The awakening process. This process usually happens in stages. While there are always exceptions, understanding patterns that emerge can be helpful. In the beginning of the awakening process, there is a shift that takes place. The current reality no longer satisfies your senses or understanding. You begin questioning things. You begin looking for more. You may have a past of some spiritual experiences, religious beliefs, or even a denial of these things. This will also have an effect on the process. Suddenly, you may start to see the world differently. This can begin an isolation process from others. After all, if you do not think the same, then you may find yourself living outside of your normal relationships. This can trickle down into your work and even your interests. The world will seem to withdraw, but you are actually withdrawing from an old paradigm. Then you can begin to seek new things. Isolation and withdrawal. Look around and you will see that people are awake or asleep. Those that are still living in the current reality and no longer seem to be as real to us. It still holds their attention. Many of us in our early awakening process tried to bring others along. Look at this, see? This is not true. And some of us faced a great deal of resistance. We may have lost friends, family, and loved ones because we are now seen as crazy, or like we've gone mad. However, we knew better. In the early part of the process, we just wanted everyone to see all the false parts of reality. We wanted them to wake up like us. This can cause an isolation process and loneliness like we have never experienced before. This may lower our frequency, and for some, it's the toughest part of the process. Seeking. Once we have recentered a bit, we may begin to seek. We will seek answers to questions that we have not taken the time to ponder previously. We may seek others more like us. We may ask questions. What is the soul? How many times have I lived on this planet? Where did I really come from? What is happening to the planet and why is everything changing? I feel change. What do others feel? Why do you have to have duality? Why has the darkness and controllers of the planet chosen this path? Can we be free of them? Do we have a bright future, or will we have another Holocaust? Some will find a new tribe easily, and some will struggle and continue in the isolation phase. Some will find one or two they can speak to about some things, but not all things. It's important at this stage to continue to seek answers and find others that are also awakening. Do not feel bad about questioning your faith, your life, your relationships. Some couples have broken up, some children have left their parents' world, and some have had to make new friends. Some now even avoid those they used to know. These changes can be difficult, and introspection is bound to take place. Once you have awakened to a new reality, you will begin to look to see how you fit in this new reality. You will internalize and process the pain of the old paradigm and how now you see things differently. While you seek answers, you will begin a process of introspection and integration. The process varies and some go through it quickly, surrendering easily, and others will need to go through it in stages and take the incremental path. This all depends on your past, even past lives, and your current issues, experiences, and perspectives. Be patient with yourself. Do not feel guilty for past mistakes or misunderstandings of your reality. What you know now is for now. Bringing everything to the present is a process, and once you achieve this, at least on a large scale, the next phase can begin. Implementation. This stage marks the implementing of new living. You are becoming a new you. You will be more integrated, more aware, and more expanded. You may start to remember more. You might take up gardening, get a rain barrel, write a song, or paint the deck. Many realize we need to be more independent at this stage. Some even buy a farm or live off the grid. This constructive action helps to put you on a new path internally as well. When you stop needing others, you become more independent. Some believe this is essential for our survival. Some may find a new job, work on projects that they've never dreamed they would do. You may have totally new interests, and this is all the normal process of the stage. However, be careful. Some fall trapped to self-righteousness. I am sure you have seen some say, "You had a bad day yesterday," or "Something bad happened." Well, why did you draw that to yourself? On one level, we know that a frequency match may bring negative things in front of us, but understanding that this is a rigged matrix. Just because you fall prey to something doesn't mean you quote-unquote deserve it. But things align that allowed it to be expressed or to happen. So do not be too harsh on others, as this only lowers your consciousness too. Do not judge others that are not being integrated the way that you are. Simply find those you resonate with and leave the others behind. Judging others does not usually help them grow. Judgment comes from the old paradigm. It is what gets us stuck in the matrix. This is part of the guilt and judgment that we must transcend. Expansion. Soon for many, they will begin to expand. This means for some simply taking care of a loved one or family. However, for some this will look like they have gone on some type of crusade to save the world. We all have our place, and you will find yours. Some will decide to become motivational speakers, some will be on a crusade to change the darkness to light, and some will want to change a system or create something new. Everyone has their place. Try not to judge too harshly those that are on a different mission from you. Remember, we are humans regardless of our soul origin, and we all have to struggle with ego, personal baggage, and personality flaws. Remember to focus on your path and your journey. We all came with different agreements and for different missions. Unity. Eventually, we will reach a place where fear, pain, ego, greed, control, and all the other negative aspects will come into balance. Of course, it is not about reaching perfection. Do not deny your feelings, flaws, and negative thoughts. Embrace them so you can integrate them. At this stage, you are ready to see many perspectives and accept more than one truth. You have reconciled your shadows and integrated. You are not haughty or self-righteous. Don't be too hard on yourself for cycling back through one of these stages, as that can very well happen. Do not be too harsh on others for doing so either. It is a fluid process, and we need to be flexible with ourselves. Remember, perfection is not the goal, but peace is. Here are some things to remember. We all come from one source. Each one of us is a fractal of God source. This means that ultimately we are all one. Remember this when someone wrongs you or you have to face someone who is asleep. Perfection is not the goal. We will be learning and growing in many lifetimes in the future. Peace and love are much better goals. Do not get caught up in the trap of judgment and self-righteousness. This is diversion in the awakening process. Letting go of others and baggage in your life is difficult for many. Be kind to yourself and others. If we are to see a positive future, focus on positive things. It's okay if negative things are presented in your life. Embrace them, integrate them, and move on. Don't be afraid to share your ideas and efforts. It is no longer about ego, money, control, or power. It's about pulling us together as one voice. The time is now for that. We are the helpers at this time. By contributing, you are creating. Live in gratitude. Feel what you want. To create a positive world, know that you are not alone. Meditate and pray when you need to, and do not be too hard on yourself when this doesn't do what you want it to do. Keep at it. This is a process. Go into nature. This will help center you and get you away from the noise. Do not focus on the fear of the future. Live in the now.